Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today we are talking about the preserve underlying transparency feature within After Effects. I wanted to share this with you today because I think that it can help you in your daily animation workflow. Along with being able to create mats really easily, it also enables you to create less pre-comps. So let's jump in and see what it's all about. Okay, so preserve underlying transparency. So I really am excited to share this with you guys today because if you don't already know about it, I think it's gonna be pretty eye-opening for you. So I'm just gonna jump right in and show you what it is. So a lot of times what will happen is you'll want a shape to be within a shape, or you'll want something to be matted, one object to mat another object. And that can lead to a lot of pre-comping that can be kind of frustrating within animation. So let's say in this situation, you have some text here and you want there to be a circle shape that runs through this text, like a colored pop of a circle that goes through. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's create a circle. Now, normally what you would do is, so the idea here is that I want this circle to only be matted out by this. All right, so pretty much you're not left with many options. I mean, your main option that you're left with is to pre-comp this, right? So I need to pre-comp this text. And come in here, let's call it text. Okay, so I need to pre-comp this text, and you have a couple different options. I can come here and I could duplicate it, and I could do an alpha mat. Oh, I had it backwards. Come in here, do an alpha mat, and then I have that. Cool, it works, that's fine. So I have access to the shape layer. What I don't have access to is to my text. Now it's kind of frustrating because it's like, all right, well I have to come in here. What if I want to make a change to this text and move it around? Well, it's frustrating because now I can't see how that's going to work with my new shape that I created. So that option doesn't really work for me. I could come in here and I can go effects, channel, set mat, and I could set this to the text, but I'm still left with the same situation. If I want to make any changes to this text, I still have the problem of I have to step in here and animate. So that also doesn't work for me. So let's get back to where we were, and this is where preserve underlying transparency comes into play. Okay, so let's say that we have our shape layer, and again, we want to just be matted out by this text. So if you come here and you look, there's this little T button right here, and you might or might not have seen it or accidentally clicked it before, but this is preserve underlying transparency. So as soon as you click this, you're going to see what happens. Okay, so what it's doing is it's telling this layer, this shape layer, to look at everything down below it. Everything that's below it, I want you to take that transparency from it. Okay, so for instance, if I come in here and scale this up, you'll see there's our circle in there, and it's only being matted out by the alpha below it. Now you're seeing that there's a bunch of black around here, and again, that is because this is actually just the background color. If I come here and I show you my project settings, I'll change this background color to something else. You'll see that it's not going to take that because it's not actually alpha. It's just the background color. It's actually transparent. So that's cool. So let me show you this in practice, how you might actually use this. So let's say that I have this animation. It's cool, it's nice, it's fine. But I kind of want to add a little something more to it. Let me put this back to black. Okay. And then I've already created this shape animation when I was preparing for this tutorial, and all it is just a bunch of squares that scale up. But this is the shape, or the shapes, that I want to run through my text. So let's take these, let's copy them, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste them. All right, I'm going to paste them in my animation comp. So then if we come over here and we select the shapes and we do a preserve transparency, you'll see that instantly they mat out based on the alpha below. So now we have flexibility. I have this animation, and if I feel like, oh, this isn't right, I want this plus to rotate sooner or later because this square is coming in at the wrong time, whatever, I can do that, and I don't have to step back into a pre-comp. So that's awesome. So where this can get you in a little bit of trouble, though, is let's say that I want to change my background color. All right. I wanted to change this from like black to white. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a black solid, because remember, we don't have an actual black layer behind us. We just have the comp project settings. So let's put this to the bottom, and you're going to see instantly everything breaks. And why is that happening? It's happening because if we look at our transparency now, it's just solid. There's nothing there. Whereas if I turn this off, you know, there's lots of transparency. So these shape layers are looking down, and they're saying, okay, you know, this is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha. Then all of a sudden when we turn this on, it says, oh my god, there's all this alpha, so I'm just going to reveal my entire self. So that's a problem. So here we actually do have to do a pre-comp. So what we need to do is we need to actually have our animation here, and then have a separate comp where we can then put in our backgrounds. Okay, so right now, again, I brought the animation into a separate comp, and it's still maintaining our preserved transparency, because that only works inside of the pre-comp. When you're outside the pre-comp, it doesn't work unless you click this button again. All right, so let's go ahead and paste. Let's paste our black solid. Okay, so that's cool. And let's say that at some point we want there to be white that happens. Okay, so let's go, I don't know, somewhere in here. Maybe one more or something, something like that. Yeah, cool. So now we're actually able to do that because we've pre-comped it, and we don't have, it's clicking there at the end. We don't have the preserved transparency doesn't carry through. So this is super helpful, because I just find that you know, not only just for text animation, I mean even compositing tricks you can use this for. And I think that it gives you a lot more flexibility than what you would normally have. I think the only catch is backgrounds. You know, if you need a solid background, it doesn't really work. So having said that, I think that about wraps it up, and I hope that this one was helpful, and please let me know if it's been useful to you in the future. Okay, thanks so much, guys.